Podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Brew Games Podcast. This is episode 13 titled Two's Company. I'm Adam Elysian.
And I'm Joe Evans. And we're going to not delay and jump right into our beers. So,
Let's do it.
I've been waiting a long time to present this beer to both the audience and to you. It is the long fabled Blood from a Stone. It's got a rating of 87 on Beer Advocate, and for whatever reason, a 49 on Rate Beer.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why.
I don't even think I've seen a beer that low.
Even with that huge difference between the two sites, but it's a red rye IPA at 6.8% alcohol by volume. It's a one-off run and a collaboration between Bomber from Vancouver and Stone from California. It's believed to be the first Canadian brewery that Stone has collaborated with. So Stone's collaborated with other breweries around the States, but this is their first foray with a Canadian brewery.
Nice. Got a nice red color to it.
Yep. I'll go to the history of the brewery. So
Sure.
Bomber was started in Vancouver in February of 2014. So it's just over a year old now.
Oh.
It was started by three friends who were also hockey players. Not professional, but like minor league kind of stuff. Don Farian, Cam Andrews, and Blair Calababa. Farian brings 20 years of experience in the hospitality industry. Andrews brings 20 years of experience in design and marketing. And Kelly Baba is the one that's bringing over 11 years of brewing experience, running Ampleside Brewing Company and a regular member of staff at Dan's Home Brewing.
Very nice. It's nice and short history.
Yep.
Sweet.
So I've been around for a year, so there's not much to say about him, I guess.
That's true. It's I've been very excited for this because we've talked about this a lot. And
I've been obsessed with this beer, so hopefully my excitement didn't set expectations too high. And
not at all. It
No?
is super, super delicious. Very easy drinking. It's like what a red beer should be, I think.
Yeah.
I taste a bit of hops. I don't know what kind. But other than that, nothing really sticks out to me.
So I believe the hops are from Australia. I believe it says on the back of the bottle here.
So I was trying to read. But
Yeah, so they sourced the rye and the barley from Canada. They got the German and Belgian malts and then Australian hops. So they traveled around the world to bring this to your hand.
And you traveled around the city to bring it to my...
I did. So because it is a one-off, it'd be very hard pressed to find it now. I had 4 bottles when I first found it, thinking I'd drink 2 for myself and have 2 for the show, and didn't get anywhere close to the next recording before I drank them all. They're that good. And then couldn't find them from Willow Park, is where I originally found it from. They had no more left in stock, and actually, as we mentioned in the last episode, we were at Beer Fest, and I was even hyping it up to a few people there, saying, yeah, I gotta get down there and get it, and on the next episode we're gonna have it. And then when it came to record the next episode, I didn't have any, so
So you drank them all.
because I drank them all.
Nice.
But I did some calling around through Liquor Connect and found that Liquor Depot up in Huntinghorn had 13 bottles left.
So you bought them out.
So I bought 12 of them.
Nice.
I left one behind. I thought buying 13 would be weird, but it was kind of awesome because they had a 10% off per 6 bottles deal. So you buy 6, you get 10% off. Buy another 6, you get 20% off.
Nice.
So that was the main
That's pretty
reason why I
sweet.
didn't go with the 13. I just went with the 12.
But 13 beers, 13th episode?
I didn't even think about that. Oh well. But
Well,
if you do,
there's one left. Go find it.
yeah, if you do want to get it, it's $9.99 a bottle. Liquor depots probably have them. Just call them around. They'll be able to tell you which store has some stock left. But
Nice.
Yeah.
Highly recommend it. I don't know what else to say about it, but it's... If you like red beer, like, this is for you, man.
I like the hoppiness to it. It's got a nice bitterness to it without being like overdone.
Yeah,
It's just enough to like kind of give you a little bit of a tickle, I guess.
for sure. Well, the IPA, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So we'll go into your beer.
Sure, let's do it. I got you the Elysian Split Shot Espresso Milk Stout. So, I'll let you try that.
Okay.
I hadn't tried this one before, but I just got a few bottles and tried one before the show. It's a combination. I'll start with the brewery first, I guess. It's founded also by 3 guys, so that matches up, in Seattle in 1996 with a beer hall and brewery. And then just 1 year later, they were offered to run a small pub and brewery at GameWorks, which is like a Palladium in the States. I don't know if you ever went to Palladium.
Yeah, so GameWorks is run by Sega, I believe. Right?
Yes. DreamWorks, Universal Studios, and Sega.
Okay.
Yeah. I had no idea, but I had a lot of fun at Palladium growing up. That was like pretty kick-ass.
We had one Palladium in Calgary, but it was like way in the north, and I was living way in the south, and so the only time I actually got to even see a Palladium was when I would go up to Edmonton.
West Edmonton Mall.
Yeah, when Frankapalooza used to be at the Mayfield.
Yep.
Because we were already in the area. Just down the street was West Edmonton Mall, and yeah, I remember seeing it, but never actually going into it and playing anything. I think I walked around it once, but didn't actually end up playing any games.
I had like my 10th birthday party there.
Yeah.
And because it was like kind of expensive, I could only invite like 4 friends.
Okay.
But yeah, it was a blast. Still remember it. It's awesome. So if you could have beer at that Palladium, man, that would be awesome.
There actually used to be an arcade here in Calgary that was downtown in Eau Claire Market.
Okay.
That it had a bar in it, and it had the arcade. So they would just have people patrolling, making sure they didn't go from the bar side to the arcade side. Right. But it was completely open. There was nothing. There's no ropes or doors or anything. And yeah, that shut down. It was part of it was part of Cineplex, I think. It's called Cinescape.
Okay.
Yeah. So the very front of the house, when you walk in, is like all the ticket machines, like the coin bulldozer stuff.
Yeah.
And like...
So could kids still go to this?
Oh yeah, totally.
Okay,
all the kids could play like the ticket machines, and then you go past that, and that's where you have like all your fighters, your racing games, your shooters, all those other stuff.
And that's like a smart business idea.
And then in the very back was like the pool hall and the bar. And they had food as well.
You take your kids to have a good time playing arcade, and you sit at the bar and
yeah, exactly.
have some beer.
It was awesome.
Watch
and then they
game,
shut down all of a sudden. I don't know why. It's a Gold's Gym now.
Well, that's disappointing.
Yeah.
Anyways, that was a 5-year contract that they had with GameWorks. So that's over now, of course. But they now have 3 breweries that serve 3 pubs, sorry, okay, that serve 20 of the Elysian beers across them, which is pretty cool. And they also have a collaboration with the brewery New Belgium. I don't know if you've heard of them.
Yeah, actually, one of the beers I picked up today from Miller Park is a New Belgium one.
Do you know which one?
Is
it the Trip series?
It's the Rampant.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Imperial India Pale Ale. So apparently it's supposed to be very, very hoppy.
Nice. Interesting.
Yeah.
I'll have to give that a try. But they have this collaboration with New Belgium, where Elysian would make some beer at New Belgium's brewery in Fort Collins, and New Belgium would make their Trip series beer at the Elysian brewery in Seattle. So for your beer, the Split Shot Espresso Milk Stout, it's a combination of coffee and stout that will definitely get your attention. The malts are Northwest Pale, C15 and C45 dextrin malts, Franco-Belge's Kin coffee malt, and black chocolate malt,
roasted malt, and chocolate
malt and flaked oats. Hops are Magnum and a touch of bitterness. The Magnum hops add a touch of bitterness. I can't read, sorry. And the special milk sugar sweetens just a bit, and Stumptown coffee provides an invigorating richness. IBU of 28. It's a 650ml bottle at 5.6%. Got an 88 on Beer Advocate, a 96 on Rate Beer. And it was at Co-op for $9.
Yeah. Very, very good. Actually, sorry, noticing your comment at the end there about it's very malty, not as good as Kona.
That's what
Which
I
we
was going to say
had,
after you provided
yeah,
your comments.
sorry.
But all good.
I would agree with that comment. If you are a coffee lover expecting to get coffee out of this, if you're a coffee lover that loves lots of cream and sugar, then you'll love this. If you want just that pure black coffee, you're not going to get that from this. Not that makes this a bad beer. It's a fantastic beer. I've actually recently in the last month been drinking a lot of milk tea.
Okay.
So these packets like 3-in-1 milk tea that you just pour into water and stir it up. So it has like tea in it, milk in it, and sugar in it.
Okay.
And this reminds me of that a lot.
Like powdered milk?
Yeah, like powdered milk. Like this little packet that you just pour into hot water.
Okay.
But this is like a very nice, not overly sweet, not overly creamy. Even like the oats, you can actually taste the oats in there a little bit.
Yep, for sure.
So it's almost like if someone was like to do like a Timmy's double into a bowl of oatmeal almost, which sounds really weird, but you get the hints of each different flavor actually kind of stand out, which is nice.
Do you taste the chocolate at all?
Tiny bit. Maybe that's where the sweetness is coming through on.
That or the milk sugar. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, the chocolate's not really there that much, but it's not advertising to be a chocolate stout. It's advertising to be
a coffee espresso milk
stout.
Yeah.
So it definitely hits that right on the head. Like it's very, very good. So if you're into that kind of style of beer, then this is definitely one to pick up.
I'd agree. I still did like the Kona better, but that doesn't make this a bad beer at all. It's yeah, pretty much agree with everything you said. So
yeah.
So would you recommend it?
I totally recommend it.
Nice.
Yeah, if you're into coffee stout, if you've never had a milk stout before, this might be a good one to try if you already like the coffee stouts, and then you can try a milk stout by itself. So even that's a little bit different as well.
So like hold that up. Like I know when I mentioned milk stout, people think like, wow, that sounds disgusting.
Yeah.
But it's still like a dark beer. It's not like they took beer and added milk to it. Which
yeah, it's not like it's like a
that's
white Russian.
They do, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very good. I'm actually almost halfway through it already. Can't seem to stop sipping away at it. So
almost as if we should have had the second bottle here. Eh?
That's a little bit more than the bottle here, so I think we'll be okay.
Right on.
So that'll do it for the beers.
Sure. Let's get into the games.
Sure.
Want to talk about your game first?
Okay. So you challenged me to XCOM Enemy Unknown.
I did.
And so I'll first start off by saying that turn-based RPG games similar to like Fire Emblem, Golden Sun, those kind of games. It reminded me when you told me about it, saying it was a turn-based RPG. The first game that came in my mind was Final Fantasy Tactics Advance,
and
which is a game I just absolutely loved.
Right. But it's not really like that.
This is not like that. Yeah. So, my first issue I had with the game was when you first started up, it's kind of like a visual and information overload. Like they're telling you about all these things all at once. Like, okay, you got the comm center, and then you got like the engineering bay, and you got like the barracks, and it's like trying to tell you everything and being this undertone of like, make sure you remember this. But at the same time, it's like, okay, we don't have time for that. Let's go over here. And it's like, well, So that was kind of weird because being like a turn-based RPG, like turn-based games, you have pretty much eternity to figure out what you want to do and then do it, right? So that was a little bit overwhelming. First 2 or 3 missions, I had a lot of my soldiers die. Because I was thinking back to when I usually played these games like 10 years ago. These games meaning like turn-based RPG.
Yeah.
That you'd be starting at one end and they'd be starting at another end, and then your guys are kind of like slowly moving toward each other, kind of like a typical like old war.
Yep.
But with this game,
Not like that.
it's not like that. So like you'll have guys
It's
on the
like
other end, or maybe like off to the side a little bit, and then so you're moving up. But then as you're like taking out these guys, all of a sudden
They
like
start
one or two
flanking
more
you. Yeah.
will flank from the sides, and that's where I was getting really caught up. And all of a sudden, like 3 guys would just drop because they were like had cover from the front,
Yep.
but not from the other 2 sides, and so it was really really bad.
That's something I learned really quickly is you have to like cover on 2 sides.
Yeah. So
yeah,
that was pretty painful. But then once I understood that that's the kind of mechanic that they're playing with to try and trick you and trip you up, I was able to kind of readjust for that after like the 4th mission and 5th mission. I was like getting like perfects all the way through.
Nice.
So I was able to maintain composure and make sure that I couldn't get sneaked up from behind or something.
Nice. I like losing a guy in the first missions isn't very critical.
Yeah.
But like your guys level up as you complete more missions. And if you lose a guy later in the game, like a high level guy, you have to bring in a rookie to replace him.
And then he has to work his way up to...
Yeah. So you have like a bunch of, just for example, like level 30 guys. And now one of them dies, you now got a level 2 guy. And like the enemies don't scale or anything. Like he's basically useless, but you have to bring him around and have him follow around just to gain experience, just to bring him back up. So if you lose guys in the end game, it makes it very, very difficult to succeed.
Yeah.
And another thing I liked is you can't save before the turn. Is that it? Or there's a weird thing with the saves where you can't just save and then see if it worked, and if your guy dies, you load back again type thing.
I think you can save between missions, but you can't lay like in between turns of a mission.
Right.
So once you're in the mission, like either you do the mission or you don't.
Right.
So I mean, if you die, then you could like reload your save, but then you're going from the very beginning of the mission.
Yeah.
So, which is still not that bad. I mean, the only time like mid mission would be like you had a save state for like an emulator or something. Yeah. I know some people do that with like trying to like it was like a random chance of like something, either a spell doing a certain effect or a box giving you a certain item. People would like save state, try it, didn't work, go back. So that to me, it's like that's not really playing the game.
That's like cheating.
Yeah,
that's totally cheating.
So like if you were able to do that in the mission midway through, I think that's kind of the same thing. Like, oh, I fucked up, and then you just do like undo. It's like, no, like you fucked up, own it, you know, or just start the whole mission all over again. Which, if it's a big mission, like I'm not sure how long the missions get to later in the game. If they end up being like a half-hour firefight or something, but I mean, you get 20 minutes into it, screw up, and like shit. So now
sometimes you almost have to.
You just go back 20 minutes, and yeah, I'm sure sometimes you have to, but yeah.
Anyways, continue. Sorry, didn't mean to derail you.
Oh, that's right. So, yeah, like I said, at the very beginning of the game, kind of overwhelming and stuff. But then, once I understood the mechanics and what they were trying to do, it was fine. I enjoyed it. It was pretty fun. But I still was like lacking something, and I would think back to like when I was playing Final Fantasy Tactics Advance or Golden Sun, and so I'm not sure if that's because with this game it's still the isotropic viewpoint, but with this one it's 3D, and then with the old other games they're all like 2D sprite, and like colorful. This one's like very dark and like gritty. So I think my mind's just like feeling nostalgia because of the gameplay. But then it's missing that like visual that it's used to, and so it held me back a little bit. I didn't have as much fun as I probably could have, but it's still something I think I'm gonna continue playing anyways. It was fun enough that it's not something to stop me from playing it.
Okay,
I think it's still a really fun game.
Nice. How far have you gotten?
About 3 hours in. I've gotten a bunch of research done. Got one satellite up. And I think I'm almost ready for another satellite to go up. So
nice.
Yeah.
All right. So what would you pay for it then, since we're doing that? Or would you even recommend it? I guess
I would recommend it if you're into turn-based RPG. I definitely would recommend it.
but not like Final Fantasy turn-based.
Yeah,
RPG.
if you're thinking of like 2D sprite style, then the visuals might throw you for a loop a little bit.
Like, and it also like you don't explore the world even, right? Like you're given the mission.
Yeah, you just go back to
you
Command
straight,
Central.
You go straight into the
and then
mission.
You go, yeah.
There's no like
There's a little
roaming
cutscene
around,
where like you're in
right?
like a hangar or whatever.
But there's no roaming around a world to.
No.
Yeah, so it's different that way.
And it's actually, I mentioned that there's like there's a mechanic where like time's a big thing about the game as well. So like you have research going and you're like waiting for missions, and when you go to like scan the globe for another mission to go to, there's a chance that your research and stuff will finish before a mission pops up.
Yep.
So all of a sudden, like you're waiting to do a mission, but then like hold stop, we need to like tell you about this research that's done now. You should probably start another research project, or the engineering bay will be finished with like producing new equipment for you and be able to like produce more stuff or expand your engineering bay so they have more room to produce more stuff.
Yeah.
So that was kind of an interesting mechanic, I think.
For sure. And I remember like scanning, hoping that the research timer would complete before a mission came up, just so I'd have that research done for the next mission. But
now I'm not sure if this was like coincidence or not, but I noticed that when I was playing the game, the timeline was like March of, I don't know if it said it was this year or last year, but it was like a couple weeks before the time I was actually playing it.
Really?
And so it's just really weird. It's like, yeah, it's March this. I'm like, yeah, it is March what? But it's not. Like, say I'm playing it like March 27th. This thing is like March 12th. I'm like, this is weird. It says we're in March, which is, yeah, it's March right now, but it's like 2 weeks like ahead of time. Like, I didn't know if maybe it was like some weird hidden mechanic where
they check the time of your PC.
They check the time of your PC and like where your mission is. They try and like keep it back so that near the end of the game it syncs up with your actual time. So it like immerses you.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I think it's just a coincidence that it's probably always been March in the game, maybe, and then it just happened to be March when I was playing it. But that was one thing that crossed my mind. But yeah, I totally recommend it. I still say it's like a $15 game.
I'd agree.
Yeah.
I liked the game. I really liked it. It was something
$20, unless you really, really, really are into that kind of genre and stuff. But $15 definitely is worth your money.
Nice. I would agree for sure. Yeah.
Awesome. And we'll go into your game.
Sure. You challenged me to don't hang on. Look that way. Look that way.
Okay.
So I don't want to spoil the. Okay. Good.
I've already seen mine, but that's okay.
I haven't actually. I just didn't want him to see the game I have picked for him next. Anyways, I was playing Dead Island, and I forgot to write down my notes from my notepad. So I'm trying to do this all from memory, but I did a little bit of research before playing this game, and was told it had like a great atmosphere, everything.
Okay.
And my house is currently under renovation, so I don't have like my surround sound hooked up and everything.
Right.
Just the stereo speakers.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna unplug those, put on my headphones, turn off all the lights, and really get into the atmosphere of this game.
Just really immerse yourself
for a zombie game, and if it's meant to be scary, I'll be scared, or like
right,
that type of thing, right? Didn't get that at all.
No.
It was you're at a hotel party, and then you go to sleep, and then you wake up, and it's the zombies attacking.
Okay.
And your character just seems like indifferent. There's no like, oh no, what do I do? Or like, what's attacking me? It's just like,
okay, time to get to work.
Basically. And you're not some hero or anything. You pick your character, kind of like Left 4 Dead.
Okay.
But it's just like a normal person.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, time to stop the zombie apocalypse. Just out of nowhere.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, I'll try to look at the upside of this, and there's no boring intro, because of course, like every zombie movie game is going to have the same kind of start, right? The person doesn't know what's going on. Eventually, they find out and all that. This could kind of just skip that, and you get right into it. Fine, fair enough.
Okay.
And the game, despite being like a first-person shooter, and I use air quotes because they don't give you a weapon until like halfway through the game almost.
Okay.
Or like a gun until halfway through the game. You have to
So it's
find
all like melee?
all melee, and your weapons deteriorate. So
Okay.
you have to find new ones, which is a cool mechanic. I'll give you that. But it's like the only game like that where your weapons deteriorate faster than Fallout 3. Like when I played Fallout 3, I got tired of my guns disintegrating after shooting one clip.
Yeah.
But I downloaded the mod to have it not deteriorate so much.
Okay.
And this game could almost benefit from that because your weapons deteriorate very quickly, and you can still use them, but they're essentially useless.
Okay.
Like it'll go from 2 well placed or 3 hits to kill a zombie to 50, without exaggerating.
Okay.
So you need to plan where you're going to attack,
right,
and like choose your weapons and all that. But then there's the game style, which was not quite what I was expecting. It's not like Left 4 Dead where you just try to get from A to B. You're given your objective, and you get from A to B, and then the story progresses. It's more like an MMO, where it's like you go around and talk to people. They give you quests. You go and do them, come back, get your reward, either a weapon or money or experience, and then you go find someone else and do the same thing.
Okay.
From the same location. And then eventually, after you do enough, your story progresses to the next part, where you do the same thing.
Okay.
So it's basically like a one-player MMO, almost. Zombie MMO. But one thing they did do that was really neat is anyone that's playing the game that's in the same spot as you, regardless of level, but in the same physical location in the game as you, can join your game or you can join their game.
Okay.
And you can it's co-op.
Okay.
And it's not really opt-in, it's opt-out. So I just didn't touch it. And then people joined my game or I joined their game. And that made it a lot more fun, actually.
Okay.
So I approached it to be like a scary zombie game, and that's not the way to approach it at all. I first tried joining a guy's game, and he's like, "Who the hell is this?" and then quit right away. So didn't like that.
Okay.
Or he didn't like that. But then like you get a pop-up saying, "Oh, this player's in the same spot as you. Do you want to join their game?" I'm like, "Okay, sure." So I joined this other guy's game. And then he was like a super high level, had already beaten the game once and was trying to beat it again. And so I just followed him around, and we were just dicking around doing random stuff, and that was way more fun.
Okay.
That was a blast. Then another guy joined, and he was a modder, probably not like legit, but and like when he would jump, he would go 50 feet in the air, and I was just, I don't know. With my new approach to the game, rather than being scary zombie game, was like fun dick around with friends game.
Yeah.
And like watching this guy jump in the air and drop guns for me with 9 million rounds of ammo. The game got a lot better. So yeah, if I had to play single player, I don't think I'd go back to this game.
No.
If I had people to play with, like Left 4 Dead, I guess. Because Left 4 Dead, you don't play by yourself either.
No.
Playing with bots sucks. So like, it's kind of like Left 4 Dead. You need people to dick around with, but it's much less serious than.
So you think this would make a good LAN game, possibly?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Not so serious. Not like, yeah.
Just
it's
go
actually
in there
really
and
good.
around
Really good. Yeah. Try to.
If people want to drop out, they
get your way
can. If
through.
people want to jump in, they can.
Yeah.
Awesome.
In that way, it's actually better than Left 4 Dead, because when people leave Left 4 Dead, one team's super hindered.
Yeah, because the bots are just terrible.
Yeah.
Or you get like 20 people that want to join the game, but you only have 8 people, right?
Yeah, so you split it into 2, and then
you want to stop it?
Unless you're Jason, and then.
Unless you're Jason.
Yeah.
He just gets upset anyways. Doesn't matter what you do. So, yeah.
Yeah.
So would you recommend it?
Only if you're playing with friends.
Yeah. And what would you pay for it?
Honestly, not much.
Do a $5 game?
$5, yeah, sure. $10 maybe if you got friends. If you have friends who want to play with you, and then yeah, spend the $10, have a good time. I wouldn't pay more than that though, and honestly, I don't think I'll go back.
No.
No, but we'll see.
Okay.
It's I see why there was a lot of hype with the trailer.
Yeah.
And then nothing. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
The graphics are nice though, I'll give them that. It does look,
Yeah.
visually it's a very nice game.
So it holds up? It's a pretty old game now, I think.
Yeah, 2011 or something.
Yeah, about 4 or 5 years old now.
I'm remembering things as I talk about it, so it's just it looks like we're coming to an end and we're not. But one thing I don't like is there's like every zombie or every body on the ground is a zombie, and you know it. There's no bodies on the ground that are not zombies.
Right.
But some of them, like to trigger the cutscene or whatever, or like the not cutscene but event.
Yeah, trigger the event.
You have to walk up to them and have them grab you, and then you do your stupid quick time event to escape it. Like, you know it's a zombie, you're walking up to it, you can't kill it before walking up to it and have it grab you and surprise you. And
even if you had a weapon and can shoot it, it still won't do anything.
Well, you don't get weapons for the first quarter of the game. You don't get
yeah, but this
guns.
guy, like the modder, like jumps in, drops you a weapon, right?
Okay, if you
it'd be interesting to find out to see if like there's a way to damage those players or
maybe.
not, or not players, but the zombies before they like wait for you to like step on them and they go.
Yeah, that's true. The other thing is though, the last thing that I remember, I promise, is there's no weapons range. Like, you can pick up a bat or like an oar from a boat and swing at someone.
Yeah,
but you won't hit them unless you're right up close to them. And at the same range, they can punch you. So you can't keep your distance and hit them with a long weapon. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
You got to get right up close and hit them with your oar or your bat, and then they punch you. Yeah.
Is there a mechanic where you can do like almost like a shove first and then swing?
You can kick them.
Oh, just a kick.
But there's a whole stamina thing as well, where if you're sprinting or swinging or kicking, it takes stamina, and if you run out of stamina, you get knocked over pretty easily. But it's not even that hard, in that when you're knocked over, the zombies basically ignore you, and they don't even ignore you like standing right over you. They like basically step away and ignore you, and so you go through your motion of getting up and all that.
Yeah.
And then they come at you again.
That's weird.
And it's not a challenging game by any means.
It makes me wonder why people are so excited about Dying Light, because it is the same company, but it sounds like Dying Light is just Dead Island redone. Their new coat of paint.
Could be that they learned from all their mistakes in Dead Island.
Maybe, but then I don't know. It's just weird, like, because I've watched people playing Dying Light, and like everything you explained about the mechanics and everything, and the story progression and everything, it sounds exactly like Dying Light.
Really?
Like, exactly. It's just a different coat of paint.
Guess I won't be picking that up. This is $5 or $10.
Yep. Well, will that do it for the reviews?
I think so. I think I talked enough.
So we'll go into the new challenges.
Sure.
So I'm going to challenge you to a game, and I'm not sure if you played this or not, because this game's been out for a long time, and originally came out on consoles, and then it came out on the PC.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if you've played this with friends, because I know when I played it, when it first came out on 360, I played it a ton. Like, I'm sure I played like 100 hours into it. The game is Burnout Paradise.
I have not played it.
Okay, good. So I noticed you have the Ultimate Box on your Steam, which is the version of the game I never actually got to play. I played Burnout Paradise, and then I think the first expansion that came out with it, which opened New Island and Motorbikes. But I guess the Ultimate Box has like Baja trucks and all these other crazy things.
Okay.
So
is it like Flat Out? Is that like, 'cause I've never played a Burnout game.
So Burnout Paradise, not like Flat Out, because with Flat Out, you like set up what kind of like thing you want to do first, and then you go and do it. With Burnout Paradise, it's an open world.
Okay.
So it's the first open world Burnout. And so like each intersection will have a different game mode, be it racing or destruction or all your typical like burnout modes. A couple new ones as well, and there's also lots of like there's signs that if you can bust through all the signs, like there's a certain number of signs you can like find them in the open world and like crash through them. Just open world, not doing an event, then you get like achievement for getting all 50 signs or doing like super jumps, all these different things. Soundtrack in this game's amazing. I love it. The fact that it's open world so that you don't have to sit in the menu is awesome. So just being able to race around in this like town is just so relaxing in a way. Like sometimes I just play just racing around, listening to the soundtrack.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even stop at like intersections, but if you do want to do an event, like each intersection on your mini map will have a certain icon, so you know like what kind of event's going to be before you go to it.
Yep.
So you stop at the intersection and then you want to do brake and gas at the same time,
Like
and
a
that's
burnout.
what kind of like burnout. Yeah, exactly. So you do a burnout at the intersection, and that's like you want to do this event, blah blah blah. And like I said, I had a ton of fun with this game back when it was on 360. I'm sure I've easily put, it feels like 100 hours or more into this game
Okay.
back then. So
Nice.
really excited to see if you're into it or not.
Nice. Yeah, I'll give it a
How
try.
you do? Awesome.
Sounds good. By the way, this beer gets like better the more you drink it. This is like really, really good. But,
Yeah, that's why, was it last week? I had an early night because I ended up
I
drinking a
see
few
why.
of those really quickly, and I was like, it's bedtime now. At
I
like
can see
8:30
why.
in the evening.
It's good. So the game I picked for you is also on 360.
Good.
At least. So I'm not sure if you've played it, so I've got a backup game just in case.
Okay.
But it's one that I have not played. And just seen a couple people play, and it looked interesting.
Okay.
It's Mirror's Edge.
Oh my god. That blows my mind because I almost picked that for you on PC. Oh yeah, that's awesome. Actually, I own a Mirror's Edge on 360, but I never ever got around to playing it. So
Okay.
yeah, getting forced to
Nice.
play that, I'm excited. Yeah, that's awesome.
What do you know about it? For people watching.
So first person, what do they call it when
It's
you're
like on rails.
kind of
what
on
kind of
rails? Yeah, first person, like jumping around buildings, parkour.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you are trying to, I'm not sure you're trying to escape or find somebody, but all the security personnel is like after you, trying to stop you. So they have guns and you don't, and you have to like try and like take them down by doing parkour and like doing these quick acrobatic moves around to get around to them and take them out and then continue on. I think later in the game I heard that you can get a weapon, but it's like you're not supposed to or something. Or maybe someone just said that, but yeah, I'm actually looking forward to this.
Nice.
Yeah, awesome.
All right, sounds good. I don't think we have anything for the mailbag.
Nope, nothing in the mailbag. If you guys want to send something in the mailbag, got suggestions, comments, concerns, want to tell us how much we suck or how awesome we are, or you have a certain beer that you love and want us to try, or a certain game that you want us to play, you can email us at brewsandgames@gmail.com.
Or
tweet us at
Brews and Games. And I'm at Alpha Drake.
and I'm at J Evans. Does that about wrap it up?
I think so.
Anything else you want to say? If you guys haven't noticed, every episode, the last few episodes, we
Do an after show.
do a little after show with an extra review, so stay tuned for that. And like the video if you liked it. Dislike it if you think it sucked. And
But say why, please.
yeah, definitely leave comments if you can, and subscribe to keep up with us.
For sure. Till next time.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Hello and welcome to the after show.
For episode 13.
Yep. So, following along with the trend we've been doing for the past 2 or 3 episodes, we're continuing with the Rogue Brewery. And this one's the Rogue Farms Honey Kolsch.
Nice. I've seen this one on the shelf a lot 'cause it sticks out a lot like the voodoo donut did. But...
So they have their own colony of bees. 119 to be exact.
119 bees.
119 colonies of bees.
Oh, colonies of bees.
Across from their 40-acre farm of hops. So they've decided to extract and filter the honey from their bees and create this honey kolsch.
Nice.
So,
I wish I had an army of bees to command.
So I'll let you have the honors of the first pour.
Well, thanks. The nice pouring sound we talked about last time.
Yep. That signature rogue pour.
That's a nice looking color.
So have you had a kolsch before? I'm not sure if you experienced a kolsch through the BSB program yet.
I believe so. I just can't remember the brand.
Was it the analog from Philips?
We've had the analog kolsch.
Yeah, we've had that in
was in the pack. The countdown to Christmas.
The snow case, yeah.
Snow case. But there was another one. Green bottle, I remember.
Green bottle of kolsch. Can't recall.
It's not Grolsch, but
kolsch.
can't remember. Have to look it up. But it smells quite sweet. Very nice yellow color. Have you tried this one yet?
I have, but not in this extent. When I went to try out the Sriracha beer for the first time at Willow Park, they had a little sample of honey kolsch, a little sample of their crustacean, something or other, barley wine or some sort kind of thing.
Okay.
I'm saying that because that's paraphrasing what it actually says on the bottle. They don't really have a name for that beer. It's like a bunch of different styles of beers in the one. And they had the Sriracha beer, of course, and then they had another one. Do you recall what the other one was? We went to sample the beers at Willow Park. That was the crustacean barley wine, kind of, sorta. The honey kolsch. The Sriracha beer, and there's one more, I think. Was that the nectar, or the hazelnut nut brown? No. No, maybe. Anyways, so I've had it in like a little tiny sample cup, but not to this extent, so.
Very strong honey notes.
Mm-hmm.
This one is pretty good.
Yeah.
I do like it. Goes down quite smooth. Yeah. Very light, very patio weather kind of beer.
I figured since we were going into spring, well, earlier this week we're going into spring, but today in Calgary decided to start snowing.
We've had one winter, yes, but what about second winter?
I think at this point we're going to third winter.
Did we ever really have a winter this
It
year?
was kind of, very fragmented, but it's a good beer. Very light, easy to drink.
I'm just trying to decide if I could have multiple of them. Like if I was drinking for the day or the night on the patio, could I have a few of these?
It's a good question.
Or is it too sweet?
I don't think it's too sweet. Not for me anyways. But this is coming off having that espresso milk stout.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if that has an impact on my sweetness perception. I think it's something you'd have at least definitely one bottle to yourself. I think you could do.
Oh, absolutely. Probably even two.
Especially if you're out on the patio in the sun. I think, two.
I'd rather have this than a Corona, to be honest, or something.
Oh, for sure, yeah. I'd rather have a lot of stuff other than the Corona, to be honest, but that's just me.
Well, when I think summer beer, I think Corona.
Coors Light is the ultimate, like, you've been working, like, labor intensive something, like, in the sun for, like, hours, a good 4 or 5 hours, and then you take a break and you get, like, a Coors Light fresh out of the fridge, like, super cold. That first Coors Light is, like, God's nectar in your mouth. The second Coors Light, not so much, but
Yeah.
that first one, but I mean,
Fair enough.
you could probably do that with even Brava, to be honest. I mean, if you're out in the sun, busting your ass for a few hours, sweating your balls off, then just about anything cold and beerish, except for that Phillips ginger beer. I don't think that is good with anything. Still,
Did we ever talk about our experience with what was it called? At the beer fest. The ginger beer that was fantastic.
no, we didn't mention that. I was actually trying to find that today so we could have that either pre-show or with the dinner or something like that.
Because I had it on my
the
passport.
Flying
right?
Badger.
Yeah, I had it on my passport. So rather than just the little sample that we had at the beer fest,
Yeah,
I had like a full bottle. It's still awesome.
yeah, it's a fantastic beer.
So we found a ginger beer that we actually liked. So we're not like anti-ginger beer.
No, not at all.
No, it was Badger by
Flying Badger by I can't remember the name of the company now. But it was in our beer fest video near the end though, so
and it was amazing.
you gotta search
like
quite
really
far into the
amazing.
video. But yeah, it's really good ginger beer. If you're someone who doesn't like just raw ginger, be like more of like the gingerbread kind of ginger, then that's the beer
the
for
one
you.
to go for. Yeah.
If you love gingerbread, you'll love this beer. And like,
And if you like ginger, which I know a lot of people do like,
yeah, you'll still
I'm
appreciate
rather
this
indifferent
beer.
to it. But if you like the actual ginger, maybe you'll like the
The Phillips?
Phillips one more.
I don't know.
We'll see.
Like Tyson said, tastes like soap.
Yeah.
I don't know if anything like it still gets good reviews, so there must be something about ginger that maybe we're not grasping.
Maybe.
Maybe it's a Richmond, BC favorite.
Well, if
I
you're
won't
from
go
BC,
into why I'm
you're
saying
screwed
that.
up anyways. And then
But yeah, this is it's really good beer.
how much was it?
I believe these guys go for about $8.99 a bottle,
Okay.
so not too bad.
26 IBU.
Yeah.
Doesn't say the percentage. 750 ml.
I believe it's about 4.2. Should be on there.
I'm blind. What's the 63 AA?
That's the water gravity, possibly? Oh no, 12 plateaus the water. No idea. Couldn't tell you.
Okay. What's the goes good with campfires, but goes good with what?
Cheese.
Cheese? I was gonna say cheese or dessert.
I'm gonna say cheese. I think it'd be a good cheese beer.
I would think you'd need something more tart for cheese.
Depends on the cheese you're eating, I guess.
I guess. When I think, I don't know.
But it could be a good dessert
When I think of eating cheese,
beer as well.
like really good cheese, I think of like red wine because it's like tart to balance it out. But
A lot of people say you use white wine with cheese, but
those
I'm not much of
people
a
are
wine
crazy.
drinker,
Yeah.
so
Well, white wine
or much of a
gross,
cheese
so-
eater either, so I couldn't really tell you.
Don't
on
like
either
cheese,
side.
man.
I like cheese, but I'm not a big cheese eater.
We should almost bring some cheese onto the show because cheese is delicious, man. Like you're missing out.
We have to put you and Monique in front of the camera. She's obsessed with her cheese. Especially since I introduced her to the Springbank.
Is that the cheese place in Calgary?
Yeah, it's right beside Willow Park.
Nice.
Yeah.
He got his booze, I got my cheese.
Yeah.
I like both, but
I know, when I was a kid, I tried to eat cheese by itself, and activated my gag reflex. I just couldn't do it.
Really? I would cut
Like
two-
people like would have like those like black diamond like cheese strings, and like I could maybe get through half of one, and I was just like, I can't do it anymore.
Oh, I loved those.
Like I just couldn't eat cheese by itself. I just couldn't do it.
And like even seeing like you see movie or TV show with like people eating like little fancy cheese squares.
Yeah,
So I'd try to replicate that, and like we'd have like a big brick of marble cheese from Costco.
Yeah.
And I'd cut that up and cut it up into little
have your
cubes
little
and eat that.
toothpicks and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was great. I loved it. I love cheese.
No, couldn't do it. But I will say in the last year I've been getting into Baby Bells.
Baby bells are pretty good.
So I've been eating a lot of those lately.
I go through them too quickly to buy them. It's
You gotta buy them at Costco. You buy them anywhere else, you're wasting your money.
even in Costco. I go through them. I could eat the whole pack, no problem. That's like,
In like one like day or
oh yeah.
really? That's crazy.
I have to limit my cheese intake. But back to the beer.
Back to the beer. Yep.
Recommend it. It's very good.
Yep. I've already drank mine. There's a little bit more left.
Leave a little for our camera woman here. Does that wrap it up?
That wraps it up.
Cheers.
Rogue, Honey Kolsch. Get it.
Give it a try.